So how do we look at history? We tend to look at history as names and dates that need to be memorized. We don't teach a lot of background on the people and events named in our books. Instead, history is broken into memorization of names, dates, and vocab words. While there is nothing wrong with learning vocab words, if our students are simply memorizing them, they are not learning. Graves stated that students need to be involved in deep, active processing of terms. Learning simple vocabulary terms and memorizing dates does not involve deep, active processing. There is one major problem with this approach. The students have no reference for what they are learning. Concerning history, if you asked a student what is a pillory, he or she would likely have no clue. Simply explaining to the student that a pillory was a medieval torture device would not suffice, as the student has had no training in this area. Therefore, the student has no skills to build upon. Karen Bromley writes in her article, 9 Things Every Teacher Should Know About Words and Vocab Instruction, quote, "Words are learned because of associations that connect them with the known," end quote. However, in history, since the students likely have little previous knowledge, vocabulary-based lessons would not suffice. If the student has no prior knowledge, the teacher must introduce the topic slowly, using more cues than simple vocabulary words. Bromley states that we should use pictures when teaching our students, and that an effective way of teaching vocabulary to students with little prior knowledge would be to have the students peer teach. This way, the students can relate to one another and use group work to learn a new word or phrase. In addition, it is my belief that using museum trips and artifacts in a history classroom will greatly increase the students' retention, as physically seeing the item may leave more of an impression on the student than simply reading the word. After learning the vocabulary either through pictures, a museum trip, a film, etc., the students will have a much better understanding of not only the word, but the underlying theme to which it applies. The students will be able to make connections to other words by, as Bromley puts it, quote, chunking them, unquote, together. If the student has a deep enough knowledge to combine words, themes, or concepts, then he or she will be better equipped to learn new words, themes, or concepts. For example, once a student knows the definition and usage of a pillory, he or she may now be more qualified to identify the use of an Iron Maiden or a stake, as the student now has a better comprehension of the material as a whole.